Welcome to Friend of a Friend from Creative Pinellas, a new conversation series drawing connections between artists, inspirations, friends, and mentors, and showcasing the individuals that together make a creative community.
This program is brought to you by Creative Pinellas. Our mission is to facilitate a vibrant, integrative, collaborative, and sustainable Pinellas County arts community and arts and cultural destination. Creative Pinellas is
I can't hear you, Zulu.
By the Pinellas County Board of County Commissioners, Visit St. Pete Clearwater, and the State of Florida Department of State Division of Cultural
What
Affairs.
are you saying?
Tonight's conversation features artists iBOMS and Zulu Painter.
I'd like to welcome everyone to this month's episode of Friend of a Friend. If this is your first time joining us on Friend of a Friend, it's got a very fun premise that we really enjoy doing. Basically, we have conversations between two artists working here in Pinellas County every month, but each month's guest becomes next month's host, and they select their own guest, whether it's a mentor, a friend, a colleague, an inspiration, to speak with for their episode. And so if you caught us last month, you would have seen artist Nick Davis, and he interviewed the artist iBOMS. And so iBOMS, of course, is going to be our host tonight, and he selected as his guest fellow artist Zulu Painter. So before we get to tonight's episode, I just want to introduce our host, iBOMS. He's a visual artist based in St. Petersburg, and he attended the Douglas Anderson School of the Arts in Jacksonville, and he creates 2D work, 3D work, as well as murals. His work is currently the subject of a solo exhibition in St. Petersburg's Mayas Gallery. We'll share some links to that in the Facebook page if you're watching us there. But we're looking forward to him speaking with fellow artist Zulu Painter tonight. So I'm going to hand it off to you, iBOMS, let you take it from here, and I'll see everybody at the end of the episode. So
All right,
thanks
cool.
a lot.
What's up, man?
How you doing, Rob?
I'm great as always. So yeah, so you are who again?
I am Zulu Painter, the artist known as Zulu Painter.
All right,
I paint
for sure.
walls. I paint canvases.
I paint
I do
walls.
art.
Well, no, we paint life.
We paint life, right?
Yeah. So how did you want to start this off? I know we were talking about like the evolution of art during COVID-19. Like, do you want to touch more about like what that means to you personally?
Oh, to me personally, it means that as an artist, have to find ways to like pull ourselves out of the ruts, because we normally end up in these like little private holes where we're trying to create and not be too overly influenced, and also like to create a vacuum.
So I would ask, like, how does it feel trying, like, being since artists are the ones that like the society looks up to for like guidance and different like inspiration, does it weigh on you, like, to bring the right messages to the people during like these times of turmoil, basically?
You do have a little sense of responsibility to create stuff that's gonna like inspire people and not bring them any more down than all of 2020 tried to do. But I don't know, man. You gotta just keep having fun with it, right? So if it starts to feel like it's bogging you down, then you gotta go a different direction.
Yeah, no, me and you definitely have our conversations at the studio. So yeah. Well, I would want to know, like, where did you start, like, with your art? I know we talk about it, but I don't know if anyone else knows, but.
You mean like for a piece in general?
No, like where your beginnings as an artist and like a mural artist.
Oh, okay. Well, as an artist, it started in elementary school, and we used to have these folder contests, and the teacher would, like, at the end of the week, the whole class would vote on who had the most creative or best folder or whatever. So I was winning that, and that gave me a little clue that I had like a niche for art. And and then you just keep going on. You know, I have an identical twin brother, and he was always the outgoing one, the athletic one, and I was the one that's like in a corner with everybody, but in my sketch pad just going at it. You know what I mean? So it's always been in me.
Yeah. That's what's up, man.
Yeah, you know how it is.
Yeah, definitely. So like, which directions do you want to take this conversation? Because you know, like when we get together on our topics, it can go anywhere. So art in general, like where do you get your inspiration from?
Everywhere, bro.
Oh, you
My
can't say that.
inspiration
That's
come from
general.
everywhere. I might talk to you one day, and you might say something that like makes like a bunch of stuff just click. I might um, be drawing and sketching with my kids in their little sketchbooks, and they know how to create the sense of emotion with these crazy lines that like people would consider juvenile or not refined, but they have so much power. So
Mm,
I find inspiration everywhere. You know how it is. We just keep going and try to flip it and learn from the next thing.
right, right. So I actually wanted to know more about that piece that's behind you because I had never seen it before, the black and white one. Like you want to touch on that one a little bit?
This piece was one of those moments where you know how we try to get out of we gotta get out of the rut and we want to try something different.
Mhm.
So I am known for color, crazy color, not afraid of color. Some would say too much color.
Yeah.
So I went black and white with this piece, and it was a lot of fun. The inspiration is like that energy that you get from a person like Erica Badu, who
Mm.
who is like an intellectual and a creative, and she's just this feminine power. She's such a strong
She,
person.
she's almost like a avatar in a way. She knows how to balance all of the elements.
Exactly. See, you
Yeah.
got it. Tho- That's what those arms are about. Like all the arms are like the different ways that like she's connecting with the rest of the universe. You know what I mean?
Mhm. Right, right.
It's a fun one, man.
Mm, definitely. Um,
What about you?
yeah.
What about you? Tell me something. Tell me something.
So
How has 2020 the
it.
how's
Oh, sorry. I
2020
didn't mean to confuse.
how's 2020 pushing you into a better how did 2020 push you into a better 2021?
Um, I wouldn't say it was better. I would just say it's more. I'm more in control of it now. So it made me realize that this is my first time at living life, and I don't have a cheat sheet, and I don't have a sense of direction sometimes because this is my first time doing it. So not to be so down when things don't go the right way. I definitely learned that last year.
True. Yeah, there was a bunch of down moments too, right? Like,
Yeah, like break down to the ground moments.
oh, I would find myself like just thinking these crazy thoughts and have to like talk myself off a cliff, or I'd have to like go over to your studio and be like, "Bruh, I'm thinking something nuts," and then you talk
Yeah,
me off.
yeah, you definitely need that because it's like we're creatives. We have like these crazy ideas that come into our head, and sometimes we can be delusional and get stuck into our own imagination. So it's
It
good to
happens.
have someone to balance it out.
Yeah, it happens a
Yeah,
lot, and
for
that's what we
sure.
need more of, right?
What more talking, more conversations?
More conversations and like like little pockets of artists who are talking it out and like not being able to not being afraid to like say this crazy thought that like is stuck in your head, and it might sound like a conspiracy theory, but it's based off of something in reality that's
Right.
real, you know.
You might inspire an entire new generation just by sharing your ideas.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
And that's another one of those sources, right? to
What do you mean the
to
source?
be creative, just the energy from other artists.
Oh yeah, just bouncing it off. It's almost like each artist is like a different faucet, but we're all attached to the same water source, but we just have a different way of spurting our water in a way. That sounded weird, but hopefully
But
that came off.
I like it. I like it. I like it. Because some people are like the faucet all the way on, and then some
Yeah.
people in that moment are, you know, when you take a water hose and you put your thumb over the end of it and it like just goes like extra hard or goes crazy.
Yeah,
That's that fun X Factor one right there.
yeah.
You know? But,
Yeah. Which direction do you want to go? You want to bring Danny back on, or you want to keep going? You know, we could go all day with this.
oh, we can go all day. I got one. How do you feel about marketing yourself in these times? Because now more than ever, the internet and social media is the platform for us to like spark it off, because with COVID, things are shut down. People are stuck in their crib and their studios, and they're not really getting out as much and socializing as much as possible. Do you see any smart moves that an artist can do to utilize social media and the internet?
I'm definitely probably would not be the first person to ask for advice on this topic. It's like I wouldn't say I'm disconnected from social media. I do use it when I need to, but for the most part, I like to be grounded person to person. For me, I would say just having smaller things available online and like pushing those things and letting people know like there's other options. Like you don't have to just go and drop an entire bag on an art piece from a gallery. You could enjoy these pieces of our minds very on a small level, on a small scale.
Yeah.
So being able to push that through is a whole heck of a lot easier than going to a place and setting up a tent and putting all your stuff out. So
that right there, I applaud any artist that can go and do that, like to sit at a festival or at an artist market and field all those questions, and it's the same question over and over and over again, and it's honest, and it's true what the people are asking you, because they're individuals and they didn't hear that person's question, and they came with the exact same question.
Right.
But that it's tough, bro.
Yeah, I definitely I felt it during the gallery opening, but yeah, like what would you say like your next big thing is like moving forward?
For me, my next big thing is connecting with new artists and reconnecting with old artists, because I really just get so much good energy by just being around artists creating. We don't even have to talk. If we're in the same room and you're in the corner creating something and someone else is at a table creating something, another person is somewhere, you know, just to be in that group, it sparks so much energy. And then like random stuff, you know me, I sing, I can't sing. Don't anybody get twisted, but I will karaoke you real quick.
And the beats that you do.
And the beats.
Yeah.
And the energy, sometimes it takes over, right?
What, the beats and stuff, or like?
Yeah. Like if somebody like plays a song or hums a tune, and then the next person picks it up, and then the whole room is like in this like meditative chant.
Yeah, everyone's like, I would be like tapping the brush and you'd be making a beat with your mouth. It's like we're just making art and music at the same time, and it's just a whole vibe when that happens. Yeah. It's almost like church in a way. Like we go to church every time that artists get together and create, because it's like that body of energy, like what you were saying, that just fills the room.
Preach, brother, preach. We need that. We need that gospel of art. We need that Holy Ghost of Monet. We need that Picasso to put a piece up in my soul. Hey.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, man. So I think we're gonna bring Danny back in, and then we can look at some of the pieces that you had coming up. Or that
Yeah.
you've been.
Let me share my screen here and bring up some of Zulu's more recent pieces.
Oh,
Yeah.
the new stuff.
Yeah.
Let me tell everybody about the new stuff.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
new
Go
stuff. Jabari, you know the new stuff is extra weird sometimes.
ahead.
What
As
it
always.
right? What it is though, is an opportunity to do what I used to do, to sketch and have like that stream of consciousness kind of situation. But then to have a piece that's complete and that's presentable at the end, you know?
Right.
My buddy Esh, I was watching him like make all these pieces of art with these Posca markers, and I had no idea that they would come out so clean and finished looking. And I was like, bruh, fighting that one.
Yeah, I gotta go get these. Like tell them ahead of
Right.
time. I'm not copying you. I just want to try this.
Right, exactly. And then
But
this piece right here, oh man, this is Granny Bones right here. Granny Bones.
so
You know,
what is
Granny
like
Bones.
when you create these, since they are like a lot different from your older works. So like when you're doing this, like is it just like flow stage where you're not thinking about it, you're just almost doodling but creating a finished piece? Is that what
Exactly.
okay.
Yeah. These are all doodles that turn into something. And with each one, I learn a little bit more. So, excuse me, I have the opportunity to grow from the experimentation. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, definitely. I'm feeling this.
I wanted to ask, we got a question on Facebook too, Carlos. Somebody's asking how long it took to make this piece.
That one, I was sitting in the studio with my buddy Aaron, and he liked the other granny, skeleton granny, and I was just trying to like give him a real quick demo to see, to let him see how the pieces can grow. So this one right here probably took 3 hours, with the Posca markers from the way I apply them. The Posca markers, I would allow them to dry, do a layer, move to a different layer so they can get dry in places, but they're blendable too. And if anybody's looking, I say go see my man Austin at Artisan in St. Petersburg, because he's got all the art supplies. Bang, bang, message.
The spot.
What else you got, Danny? Oh, this one. I had a
like
lot of fun with this one.
And I actually brought back that tennis ball for you too. On my road trip, I brought back the tennis ball because
I don't have it here.
Yeah.
Dude,
So what was
Jabari gave me this tennis ball. It was like
it's giant.
Bowling ball size. It's giant.
So what was this piece for?
This piece was inspired actually by Carla Bristol, who told me that there was going to be an event that was geared towards raising funds so that disenfranchised or low-income kids can go and take part in this tennis camp. And I was like, that sounds good. Maybe I could like sell a piece and like donate some of the money to that cause. But no one bought it. Not yet. If you want to buy it, it's for sale.
I'm buying it when we get off the phone.
Everything must go. And that's another reason to use those Posca markers. Okay.
Oh,
so let me
I haven't seen this one yet. Whoa, what the freak?
But can you tell us what those markers? What are they like? I'm not familiar with them.
Oh, the Posca markers, they're acrylic paint markers, and they are blendable. They're a really quick way to apply paint without having to go and like get water and your brushes and a towel, and then you're mixing paint and you're trying to get the color. For the size that these pieces are 12 by 12, and for that size, the markers are perfect because as long as I'm patient, which doesn't always happen, they can dry and I can come back in and paint directly right over them. These markers are fantastic. And like I said, I got mine from Artisan in St. Pete, and I just didn't have a clue. And several people I know, including iBOMS, use them. Sebastian uses them. Esh uses them. A bunch of people use them, and they get great effects. But I didn't believe in them. I was thinking about like those Crayola markers, where it's like, it's just like a watercolor-ish kind of look, and I was
Yeah.
looking for something more opaque.
Okay.
And a lot of these new ones are the 4-eyed thing. I've seen a lot of friends and artists out there doing multiple eyeballs. For me, I thought about the fact that 2020. Remember, in 2020, we thought, "Oh, it's 2020. We got 2020 vision, and everything's gonna be great. We got an eye on the prize. Blah blah blah." And then, no, it was different. It was
So
unpredictably
can I ask
wild.
a question? Is that the reason why I see with this style that you started is more of like an expansion of awareness, whether it be like through sight or through like just the mind? It seems like a lot of openness coming with this style. Like, do you feel yourself like coming into, I would say, like a more enlightened state or getting closer to that?
Yes. I never said it out loud, and you saying that is like a real eye opener, because I feel like these pieces, for as much as they are a step forward, they're also a step back, because like I said, I wanted to get back into doing sketches and free flow and letting my brain relax a little bit, you know what I mean, and let the art kind of just take over.
Yeah,
And
I
then
feel
when
you.
it's done, I got a finished piece.
Definitely like it though.
Thank you. Oh, this is another piece for when I was in that tennis mode, of Arthur Ashe. And these are also with the Posca markers, and I'm really happy with the way they came out. Of course, we're all our worst critic, and I can see changes. I see things that I want to change right now.
Don't admit it on camera.
Who, me? Oh yeah. Oh, it's perfect. It's done. Buy it. This was another fun one. It's a little free flow, little geometric, a little pixelated, a little flowy.
Like a dimensional mechanism in a way.
Right. But I don't know where it came from. And I still don't know where it's going. From the ether.
You feel like you can be a lot more spontaneous with these smaller pieces than you can with, like, say, like the murals?
Yeah. That's one of the hard parts about the murals, is that generally people want to see a sketch and they want to know what's this finished wall going to look like. I need to know, please tell me, show me with a sketch. And for me and a lot of artists I know, once you start painting, there's things that happen, there's changes that like have to take place. And with the small pieces, the opportunity's there, and I don't have to answer to anybody. I don't have to like give a heads up that I'm about to go left instead of going right. And these are fun. These are very fun.
One piece I wanted to bring up real quick. It's sort of that same theme with the 4 eyes.
Yeah. The first pieces that came out you could see a lot of angst, a lot of emotion in them. Like I started bringing that flow out of the mouth because everybody got something to say. Everybody's got something to say. There's so much to say about what happened in 2020 and the way we can be better in 2021. And you know, everybody has their own feelings and thoughts, but if you look deep, you can see the beauty in the individuality. You know what I mean?
Mm.
It's 2020 was tough, man. Angsty.
Yeah.
It was a breeze.
Right. I did a lot of stuff, man. People did a lot of things that they didn't think they were going to do. They found a lot of time for a lot of stuff that gets pushed to the side, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to ask both of you guys that actually. Did you find yourselves being more productive during 2020 with the lockdown and the pandemic, or less productive?
Go iBOMS.
More for me because I was naturally like stay to myself in my studio, and now that it's almost you have to stay like that, you can't really go into other people's areas without asking questions or without like notifying them beforehand. It just gives you it gave me so much more power to control my little space. So it was, the more secluded it was, the better the art was for me.
And I felt like I didn't get any more done necessarily, but I did have more time to focus the energy on those pieces, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can see how if you're an introverted person, this lockdown could be like really productive. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. I saved a lot of money though. I saved more money by not going out. Oh,
Yeah.
This is our collabo.
Yeah, it was. I remember this day. I think it was the day before I went on my trip to Washington.
Oh yeah. So that's right, because you were getting ready for your show. Oh my God! Congratulations again, by the way, on an incredible show, bruh.
Thank you.
And this one
let's talk about this one though. Like, what inspired this?
It was just another flow, but like what inspired it was that bling that you put on the teeth, man. And I was like, just please, just put a little flavor. That's like our first collabo right there. It's not a true collaboration, but it is a collaboration.
We got one in the works though. It's gonna be epic.
Oh man, we got one in the works. It's gonna.
Yeah.
Y'all better like it.
We won't talk about that one too just yet.
No. Plus, it's gonna change. Even if we talked about it right now, by the time it all is said and done, it would be totally different.
Mm.
Another one of those skeleton ones. I'm trying to not pigeonhole myself and be stuck in any direction because the sketches are supposed to be free flow, have fun, make something new.
Mm.
I think I still have that one. And this is just a group of them. The wall now is very much fuller than that. This lady, she's got her quad eyes going on. Fun one. That one looks different now also.
You changed it?
Yeah, I changed it. Her hair, for me, the hair was a little too smooth. So I added a little flow, because the fro gets patted on one side and smushed on the other and bulbs. So I added a little bit of that in there.
Okay, I have to check that one out once I get back to the studio.
Yeah. You going to the studio tonight?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll be there.
And that's another thing I wanted to ask you guys about. So last month was Nick and Tori, they're studio mates. So I understand, Carlos, you're also a studio mate over there. All three of you.
Yeah.
So you find yourselves affecting each other's work a lot?
It's
Oh, you can go, Carlos.
Well, I was gonna say I think it affects the work in a way that's not predictable. It's the camaraderie. It's the like the break time when we're like, all right, 2 hours of grind time, and then after 2 hours, let's go meet outside and talk the talks. And that's where we find a lot of the energy, a lot of rejuvenated like ideas, a lot of just getting away from the piece that you're working on. And then once we're done and we're like, all right, we've been out here wasting time, but it's not really wasting time. We go back and we see the piece in a new light with new eyeballs, but not four of them.
What about for you, iBOMS? Do you find like these conversations have an effect on your on the work that you put out, or?
I'm not gonna lie, our conversations have an effect on my entire life and my entire outlook on yeah, because it's just the things, because he knows so much and he's been through a lot that he sees that I'm going through, and I'm not too stubborn to ask questions and listen. So that's like the best part. So like when I can talk to him and like clear my mind of the other things, it almost like moves the blockades away from that art direction, and I could go back and then I could focus on what I need to and know that everything's going to be okay.
Bless up.
We've got some murals here.
This is what happens when the sketch goes from the paper to the wall. Aurelius artist, he does Bob the Robot Prince of Denmark, the Bob bots that you see around town. He and I sometimes were just like, let's go paint. Okay, let's go paint. So we go over and we just paint some randomness, and that's what this one was. It was the very first time that the sketches grew from those pieces of paper to a big wall, and it's fun. It is different. New like energy.
And do you think very differently, Carlos, of like your work that's on paper versus your work that's on a mural, or is there like a lot of overlap between them?
A lot of times I have not created the same image or even style of images on the walls. They're it's a different energy. You can do stuff differently at that scale. And then when I go back to the paper, it's another track. So this is the first time that it's actually like things have been cohesive in that manner. But we got a lot more time. We got to see what's going on here.
Heck yeah.
And I want to ask you the same thing, Jabari, because you're you also do murals too. And I saw at your current show at Mize Gallery that you even have like some sculptures in there. So does it feel like all like part of like one style for you, or do you think of them pretty distinctly different?
They're definitely I hold on, let me get my thoughts correct. I categorize them like just based off of how much work I put into them. So the sculptures, they were just mannequins, and I like to do alterations to things that are already here. So with that takes a little bit more of a technical side, and with the paintings, I am like at a more natural state to where I could literally do anything to the canvas and not worry about if I have to move it a certain way, if it's going to fall apart or not. So it's just all about how difficult it will be to move the piece afterwards. Depends on how much effort I put into it.
Yeah. And you mentioned in the last episode that like your dream is kind of like to build your artistic world that you can like live in, that you can inhabit. And that's the first thing I thought of when I saw those mannequins. It felt like it came from like iBOMS world. Those must have been fun to work on.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna use those. I'm gonna keep altering them with different colors, just depending on the events. So they're gonna be around for a while.
Cool. Dope, so dope. And man, I gotta tell you, man, your art, it's like it says so much, bro. You're speaking truths about society, about youth, about like relations, like people just being people. And some people get it. Some people only take it for face value and can't see it deep. But you're creating conversations, bruh. And I wanna commend you for that. And I want to thank you for sharing your art, man.
Thank you,
Oh,
man. Thank you.
go
I'm
make
gonna,
some more art.
huh?
I said, go make some more art.
Heck yeah, that's what I'm gonna do when I get to the studio.
I
Right?
got a question from Facebook. Wanted to ask you guys. Stephen Kenny from Facebook asks, to what degree does world art history influence your work? Current events, contemporary fellow artists? How much does all that stuff influence your work? I'd love to ask both of you guys too.
Who you want to go first, Zulu?
Sure, why not?
Okay.
For me, it's like 90% of who I am as an artist is based off of the things I've seen coming up. The artist that I admire, Stephen Kinney, is one of those artists. He's incredible, and he falls in line with the Salvador Dali, who's another artist like that I have like always admired the work. There's a freeness there. The surrealism like takes us out of this reality rut, if you will, where you're kind of stuck in the confines of what other people think you should be, and then your own perception of what they think you should be, and that how you act all kind of different. So I think that I am more affected than I can even tell you right now by art history and by fellow artists and by advertising and by my kids who are making it up right now as they go, and they see little stuff, but then they show me something I haven't seen before, and I'm like, wow, I can't believe you made a two-headed turtle with three butts. How'd you do that? My babies. What about you, Jabari?
Can you say the question again?
Yeah. So, to what degree does the art history, current events, contemporary or fellow artists influence your work?
I would definitely say for the modern time or like what's going on now, that's where I get most of my inspiration from. I kind of try to run away from like art history because everybody for some reason likes to call me like the little Basquiat, and it like just gets to me like it gets to me. I don't enjoy it very much because like I don't feel like I am that direction, and I want to be like recognized for who I am now. So more of the current artists like Cause, Hebrew Brantley, Zulu, definitely Sebastian. Like when I first seen his stuff, it just reminds me of the Dr. Seuss, and I just like fell in love with it. So it's like, yeah, living artists. I definitely get a lot of inspiration because I get to talk to them and learn where their head is while they're still here.
And I'm sure it's not just visual artists too, right? Because you'll put me onto songs that conjure visuals that are only in my head,
Yeah.
and I'm like, man, who is that?
Definitely hip hop is. Yeah, I lied a little bit. Hip hop is almost like 99% of my influence. So, yeah.
So
Yeah. So and I was thinking it's just about exactly 3 weeks into 2021. It's been a 3 weeks. It's been a long 21 days. Have you guys do you feel like you've had a chance to process that, to let it kind of like seep its way into your work, or are you still like, you feel like you're sitting with it?
I feel like it's processing with me. Just because how it started off, there's going to be a lot of deep love inside of my pieces now. Like just speaking on that and like that teetering line between like the love and hate and how vicious it could be. So I think that's where it is for me.
for me, it's 2021 It says my internet connection is unstable. For me, 2021 is an opportunity to brush off all the BS that I let stick to me. I've done murals and I had people like show appreciation and love and be like, I love it, we great. Like it could be like 100 people say that, and then one person would say one negative thing, and I would let that solidify and like get up in my cavities and like and sting me. And I want 2021 to be like the year where I could just be like, nah, 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 nah. You feel me? Anybody?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask you guys about that because I know like more than once in the gallery I've said something about how I may have not liked a certain piece and the artist is right behind me. How do you guys deal with that when you hear somebody say negative something about your work? Is it hard to not take that personally?
It's hard because usually they don't say anything constructive. It's not like a constructive criticism. It's just like a criticism that's based on some personal bias rather than like something that I can grow from. You know what I mean?
For me, it's almost like a little thrill because like most of the time people don't know that I'm the artist. I was kind of secluded when I first started to get into the art scene. So I would walk through the gallery, not saying anything, not saying that I'm the artist, and just like listen to people's conversations. It's like when I do hear those like negative things, like I'll stop and I'll talk to the person, and then I won't say that I'm the artist, and then it'll come out later on like, holy crap, I just like found this guy's artwork right next to him. But
Got it.
yeah, it's like to pick people's brain and like wonder why like they didn't like it. It's like what was the reasons? So
That's interesting. Oh, that's funny. We had a couple of people on Facebook comment on the music. Right after you guys were talking about it. So you mentioned a little bit who's been on your playlist lately, Jabari. But I'm wondering, who have you guys been listening to lately? Do you listen to music while you're creating work?
for me, Mick Jenkins, Hippie Sabotage, Tyler the Creator, a lot of old classical rock music. I love classical rock. My mom got me addicted to that, so more so for the hip hop, just J. Cole, Mick Jenkins, Isaiah Rashad. Those are my top three.
Nice.
Same. Just like we just let it run, and I'll talk to Jabari. I'll talk to Sebastian. I'll talk to Reed. I'll talk to James Olsen. I'll talk to so many different people, and they'll be like, "Oh, have you heard this?" And then I'll play it, or I'll watch a TV show, and there'll be a song, and I gotta figure out where that song was. I couldn't honestly give you like one thing that's in my mix because like everything's included.
Yeah. Chad on Facebook saying Phil Collins.
Which one is that one with the drum?
That's right.
Well, that's a good one.
I feel it comes in the air tonight.
Yeah.
Right.
But what about, you guys ever experienced creative block where you're having a hard time coming up with anything at all? I know that feeling is like painful. It's hard to get through. How have you like pushed yourself through it, or have you?
Call other artists, talk to them, go and do something different, like walk away from the piece. A lot of times I'll try to like do something that's not expected, because there's certain ways that people do things, and as humans, we all like gravitate to that thing in a certain kind of way. And I don't want to be predictable. I don't want people to be like, oh, I know what he's gonna do. He's gonna paint a black person from history, or you know what I'm saying. I don't want to be like, I don't know what he's gonna do, but I think I'm gonna like it. That's hard though.
Yeah. What about you?
I keep asking you, can you Can you repeat the question again? I'm sorry.
How do you get yourself through creative block when you're finding it difficult to come up with a new idea or a new piece?
I kind of just surrender to it, and it's damaging in a way, but I think that's just the setback of being an artist, because you're the only person that's creating your part of the universe for everyone to see. So it's kind of like one of those things I kind of get into, and I use it as time for vacation, because it's like it's not coming out for a reason, and trying to force it, it's kind of hard. But those drills that Zulu does, the 2-minute drills, I believe,
Yeah,
really help, like just being able to create without any without like an assignment feel to it.
So what's that 2-minute drill like? What do you do?
The 2-minute drill is a forced collaboration exercise. No matter how big the group is, it's about everybody having a piece of paper or a sketchbook. We all start at the same time. You got 2 minutes to start something, and then we pass the sheet around. Like you pass it to the left, and the next person gets it, and they're free to do whatever they want to what you started. And the idea is just like you're just getting out of your comfort zone, because like my buddy says, your comfort zone will kill you. And Renda Ryder, and you have to get out of your comfort zone. You got to try new things. And that's what the 2-minute drill is about. And so, you know, Jabari and I, we want to invite anybody that want to come do some 2-minute drills and like to get out of their comfort zone, come through.
You have to bring apple juice. You're not going to get into the building without apple juice.
Bring some apple juice.
Yeah.
Well, that sounds like a fun event. Very cool.
Definitely.
So something. So I'm not an artist. I'll say that first of all. I'm an art critic and a curator, but I do feel like I go through those periods of creative block, and so I do some cross training, like creative cross training. I like poetry. I know it can sound a little bit lame, but I like reading and writing poetry. I don't share with anybody, but that's what I do to cross train. Do you guys feel like you have like any creative cross training? Anything but you like to do creatively besides visual art, or a different kind of visual art, I guess?
Sorry.
Yeah, for me, mine is singing. Yeah, I sing to myself, and I'll occasionally, like, actually at the end of, well, before I deliver all of my pieces to my last solo show, I took all of my pieces into like the back area of the arts exchange, and I had them all out, and I was just like vibing with the music, and I was singing to the pieces, almost like embedding that energy into them, and it was just amazing. So yeah, singing for me is like my downtime release.
Oh, interesting. So, you know, when you do singing, you do it like with a group or by yourself? Do you do it publicly?
Oh no, just by myself. No one ever has heard me. No one now has ever heard me sing. You might one day, but
the dude can sing. He can actually sing, though. That's the crazy part.
I hate to say it, but the people on Facebook are saying they want to hear you sing.
I'm not gonna do it.
No premiere here tonight on Facebook.
Yeah, one day. No, he can really sing though. Like, I'll be in my studio. My studio's downstairs. His studio's upstairs, and I'll hear this singing going. I'm like, what is he listening to? And then when I could hear him walk, and I hear the music, the song go with the steps, and I'm like, oh, that's him. I didn't know. Hey, look, homie got pipes. Pipes.
What about you, Zulu? Do you
I can't sing.
What? Not.
I can sing solo. Solo, you can't hear me.
Do you find yourself doing anything else? Getting into anything else creative besides visual art?
I would love to do animation. Procreate on the iPad is an excellent exercise to get out of my mind. James Olson is a sculptor. I also work with M6 Effects. They do sculpture and 3D, and special effects things. And so I think like having my creativity in different baskets,
Mhm.
helps to like not get stuck. You know what I mean? But I would like to be a master of something. Who
Of
knows?
thought.
Yeah.
Be a
Besides
master of
murals.
thought.
Somebody didn't turn their phone off.
Speaking of singing, Chad's telling us Phil Collins again. Is ever on your.
What did you say?
Speaking of singing, Chad is telling us Phil Collins again.
Yeah, he
So.
picks on me about that 'cause when I was doing the
They
music,
want Jabari. Just let them have a little feel.
Absolutely not. You're never gonna get me to budge on that one.
So
One day.
but before we wrap up, I'd like to know what you guys have. How aspirational you are for 2021. What would you like to see yourself do or accomplish? Do you guys have any resolutions or goals for this year?
I want to do a show in which I collaborate with at least, let's say, I don't want to kill myself, let's say 8 other artists, and the show is about that community and how we all affect each other and how like teamwork makes the dream work, So if that could happen, that'd be great. So if anybody has a space, anybody want to help put a little fundage together, I'll get the artists. I'll find them. They out there. I got lots of homies, and we'll make something special happen. What about you, J-Mo?
Resolutions. Fixing things that were broken that don't need to stay broken. Wherever that may be, whether it be like a piece of art, a relationship, or anything. Just if it doesn't need to stay broken, go back and fix it.
Nice.
Very cool. Very cool. So, but before I wrap it up, I have to share this one from Facebook. Freddie is asking Zulu. It says, Zulu, can we hear Zulu spit freestyle using the word inspiration? So we're looking for some music.
All right.
You go do it too.
Let me get my microphone. I got a little inspiration situation. When I let my mind flow, the navigation is the preparation. H.
Is that it?
Inspirational.
Woo!
Thank you. Thanks a lot. but seriously, it has been great talking to you guys. It has been a really refreshing episode. Jabari and Carlos, it's been really a privilege being able to get to know more about your work, about your thoughts behind it, and even about your relationship as friends and fellow artists. It has been great. I want to thank you guys for joining us on this conversation. Before we wrap it up, I wanted to ask Carlos, you're going to be next month's host because that's how the show works. Of course, this month's guest, next month's host. And so I want to ask, who is your guest going to be next month?
Next month, my guest is going to be the incredible Reed Jenkins.
Reed Jenkins.
He's super talented, super talented. He is coming for all kinds of, he's bringing it. He's bringing it all the time. And I want to talk to Reed.
Very cool. We're looking forward to that. So that's going to be in the month of February. Zulu is going to be our host, his guest, Reed Jenkins. So we're really excited, very excited for that.